The NFL season has officially concluded with a Chiefs 38-35 victory over the Philadelphia Eagles in Sunday's Super Bowl at Glendale, Arizona, where we saw lots of scoring, lots of big plays downfield, and in particular we saw a really big momentum shift going from the first half to second half. In today's game, we saw lots of offenses that I just said, and in particular, these offenses put up a total of the Chiefs 240 yards and the Eagles 417 yards. And I said all three aspects of the game were going to be something to look out for, including passing, rushing, and how these defenses were going to play, starting out with the passing category. Mahomes, he had a good first half, but he had a way better second half, and that's the reason why, despite the 3 touchdowns, he had only 182 yards, passing 21 for 27, and then Jalen Hurts, he had 304 yards, but only a touchdown, one throwing touchdown today. And the passing game today was overall there. The Chiefs only had 182, and passing, the Eagles had 302. So we saw a big difference in passing. Now, also, another thing that you have to keep an eye on was this rushing attack. And this rushing attack today did way more than I thought the rushing attack was going to do in the matchup, especially considering these rushing attacks aren't especially highly rated. And Patrick, the Chiefs, he had 15 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown. And then Jalen Hurts, he was all over the place in that game. 15 carries, 70 yards, and 3 touchdowns rushing. And looking at the rushing totals, the Chiefs, they had 158 yards, and the Eagles, they had 115. The difference, not as big as the passing, but you can see that the rushing and the old-fashioned football, it can work out once in a while, and it did there. They got the Eagles' defense tired. And they just took the game from there. And then you look at the third thing, the defenses. The defenses in particular, I see that the Eagles defense, they played really well in the first half. Well, the Kansas City defense did not play so well in the first half. And then the momentum swing happened, and basically the whole thing flipped. The Eagles defense got tired. They couldn't contain the Chiefs offense, and then the Chiefs defense adjusted to Jalen Hurts and hit the offense of the Eagles. Turnovers-wise, the Eagles had the only turnover in the game. It was on the fumble. And also, you look at the sacks today. The Eagles got sacked twice. The Chiefs, they didn't get sacked at all. And that's basically a lot of the stats. I'm not going to read all the stats in the box sheet, but those are some of the stats that I think stand out in this game. They kind of tell you the whole story of the game. The Eagles, they had the passing advantage. And the Chiefs, they had the rushing advantage, but the defense really determined who would win the game, and the Chiefs happened to win the game. Now, that's my thoughts on the game. Now, there's other things that people talk about in the Super Bowl. One of them being the halftime show. The halftime show, Rihanna performed at halftime. Some people were saying that it was really good. Some people were saying that it was really bad, or not so good. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I just really wasn't digging it. I wasn't my favorite halftime show. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And then the commercials, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about, but I thought some of the commercials were pretty good. Like the one with the Tubi commercial, we all saw what happened with that, how it fooled everyone. The Amazon commercial I thought was kind of bitter in the middle, but it was a good ending. And then there was also the commercial with Mr. Beast in it. Those two kind of stood out. Overall, I think it was a pretty good Super Bowl presentation if I had to make an overall statement on that. And then kind of looking to next season, the NFL, and I can assure you this, not as many people watched, but a lot of people probably weren't as excited because the officiating this season has been controversial. A lot of missed calls, a lot of no calls, a lot of calls that are incorrect. So that's kind of the reason why I think for next season, I think the NFL, and specifically the commissioner, they have to kind of focus on refining the officiating, especially on calls like pass interference, roughing the passer, and holding. I think those 3 calls, they determine a lot of the directions that the game's going. Lots of controversial calls in there. When that happens, it just kind of turns into a mess. And that's one thing I think the NFL is going to have to take a look at going into next season. The one call at the end of the game, the holding call, that was a very controversial call. Another reason kind of why they should take a look at it. In big games like this, they got to get the calls right. I think it's way too early to make predictions about next season, and I'm not going to make any tier ranking or any like Super Bowl predictions yet. We're just gonna sit back and kind of let the offseason unfold here, and we're gonna look to this offseason where a lot of things could happen. As we saw, Derek Carr already got released from the Raiders, so that's big. We'll definitely be on the lookout for some things that might happen this offseason that will bring you guys new content for the next season. And there's no more post-game shows this season, obviously. From now on, the videos here at the desk are just going to be updates for the off-season. And the updates, by updates I mean really important updates, because you can look at a lot of updates on the posts page on the YouTube channel. You'll find a lot of the news that I post, and I update it pretty regularly. Whenever something happens that I think is significant enough, I put it on the post and it'll be there. I update that pretty much daily, if not at least like a few times a week. I wouldn't want to keep doing all the news stories on the desk, so I would just the desk here. So I would just recommend checking it out. There's lots of stuff there to see. But that's gonna do it. That concludes the 2022-2023 NFL season as the Chiefs get their Super Bowl ring. Mahomes, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and was chosen MVP. And we'll see you guys on the next video. And yeah.